All right, here with another podcast. And this time we got on Brenden. All right, Brenden is the brother of a guy that we already had on, Derian. He's actually in the room in the corner. He's not even facing us. He's just facing the corner.
He's sitting in timeout.
But no, he's over in the background. We got him here. First of all, thanks for coming on, Brenden. We appreciate you taking time out of your day and coming on to the Human Network.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. And we're here to just kind of get to know you a little bit, man. Talk, have a good time, and hang out. All right. If you keep looking in my eyes like that, I'm gonna just. Why'd you look away?
I need help. No, right?
Jake over here looking like he's about to kiss Tanner.
Man, you stream, you've done theater, you help your brother out with his like music stuff, like you were hosting a music night the other night.
That was a trip.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, man, a little bit, maybe something we don't know.
I started streaming right at the start of the pandemic.
So about 2 years ago?
Yeah, it was maybe a month into the pandemic, and I was like, man, I'm bored as shit. So I decided, you know what, I've seen a bunch of people streaming on Twitch, like, might as well try my hand at it. So I got my shitty little Surface Pro, like my 2017 Surface Pro. I got like a $20 microphone. No, because I started with a Razer microphone.
Okay.
One of like the Razer USB microphones. It was like $70. But I started with that and this shitty little webcam I got for like $20 on Amazon, which is actually still the webcam I'm using.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 years later.
I mean, it has problems. It glitches out all the damn time, but it works. It does the job. And I was like, you know what? Let's go. So I started streaming, and within a month, I hit affiliate.
Wow.
So you have to have. So for affiliate, you have to have 50 followers and an average viewer of 3.
Okay.
And I somehow managed that in a month.
Sweet.
What were you playing to get that?
Mostly Warzone.
Yeah.
It was a lot of
It's a good
Warzone
one.
and playing gun game with Derian.
Why did you want to start streaming?
Because I was bored and I needed human connection.
Okay. Did you have like a job before the pandemic started? Kind of like lost it, wasn't doing anything?
I had lost my job about a year before the pandemic started.
Okay.
And at that point I was just kind of sitting around trying to help take care of Derian, because his anxiety and his depression were so bad that it was making it hard for him to function. So basically my job was making sure Derian didn't go crazy in the middle of the day. So we were sitting around like, you know what, I need to talk to people other than my little brother. And then I dragged him into it anyway. And I met a couple of new people right when I started, but most of my growth in that month was from like people I already knew, a bunch of theater people, a couple of guys from Boy Scouts, because we were really involved in that when we were younger.
Actually, a little side note, you know somebody that I know who was in Boy Scouts. His name is Matt. You guys did a summer camp together for like a week or something like that.
Matt.
Yeah, he said you might not remember his name or his face, but
What's his last name?
I don't know if I should say on the video. But yeah, his name was Matt. I'm not sure if he
I know
made
too
Eagle
many
Scout or not,
Matts.
but yeah, he said it was years ago.
Apparently y'all fought over a girl
for like a week.
For a week at summer camp.
I'll show you a picture of my
Derian,
phone's
shut
on the
up.
tripod.
Darian's over your mouth, and it doesn't surprise me. You know what? Fair enough, I guess. But honestly, I met so many people through scouting.
Yeah.
I've completely lost track.
He said you might not remember, but I figured I'd bring it up over here.
After the episode, tell me his last name, because that'll be what helps me remember.
For sure.
But yeah, so like I had some scouting people that came over, and they got me to that average viewer count of 3. which, you know, in hindsight, like, that's not too much to achieve.
Yeah, you could get another phone and just have it on your stream all the time or something.
Well,
But 50 followers is a little harder, and like we know from experience just doing this, like
that was a pain.
Yeah.
But I managed it, and after that, like, I grew really, really fast
That's awesome.
for a while.
still playing Warzone.
Yeah, still playing
Primarily.
Warzone primarily. A little bit of Fortnite in there, but it was mostly Warzone. When Cold War came out, you know, I was playing zombies and stuff like that. You know, new Call of Duty game. Ooh, we need to, we need to play the game.
Yeah, gotta buy it, level up all over again.
Yeah.
It's great.
Like, I need all the Cold War guns in Warzone.
Yeah.
I really didn't. But
Whatever to impress the audience.
oh yeah, yeah. Like I was doing these stupid challenges. Like, okay, we're gonna get this gun to gold in this stream.
Yeah, that's a lot.
In this little 2.5 hour, like 2.5 to 3 hour stream, and we did it constantly, but it was so dumb.
Yeah.
And when all the stuff about Activision Blizzard started coming out, I was like,
God, I don't wanna
okay,
talk about
I'm
it.
fucking done.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I dropped Call of Duty. I haven't picked it up again since.
Yeah.
I went to Dead by Daylight full time, and then some Fortnite sprinkled in there as well. And then Dead by Daylight pissed me off, so I stopped playing for about 6 months.
That game's fucking hard, dude. Like
It's hard, but it is so much fun, and it can be very rewarding. Dead by Daylight's where I saw the vast majority of my growth between 150 followers to 250. Dead by Daylight's what got me there. And then, you know, I stopped playing for about 6 months, and I think 2, maybe 3 months ago, does that sound right, Derian? When I went back to Dead by Daylight?
I don't know.
Fair.
Just over here swiping on Bumble.
About 2 to 3 months ago, I think, I decided to go back to Dead by Daylight, and within a month, I gained another 30 followers. I'm sitting firm at 280.
Damn, imagine 30 a month for like the next
Right.
year. Like that's a pretty good.
Oh
amount of
yeah,
growth, man.
I would kill for that.
Yeah.
I've been stuck at about 280 for about a month now. But I'm constantly meeting new people because of Dead by Daylight. You know, everybody makes fun of you for having the TTV in your gamer
Yeah.
tag or whatever, but
It works.
it works. It's unfortunately a very necessary way to grow because Twitch doesn't have a lot of discoverability. YouTube's a little better about it, but Twitch doesn't have a lot of
Yeah.
discoverability.
Especially if your viewers aren't up there. You
Exactly.
have to scroll like endlessly
Exactly.
to find those like bottom of the list guys, the new guys.
So, like, Dead by Daylight is firmly what is holding my career together on Twitch.
Kind of like that TTV thing that you do. He came up with this idea because we play a lot of Rocket League.
Mm.
We made our club name the Human Network Podcast.
Yeah.
So every time we
We're
beat
using it to
somebody,
market.
it's like right there in their face.
You know
And
what?
I think we've gotten a couple of viewers off of it. Like people, like if they're on PlayStation or if they're on PC for him, I'll be like, go check out our podcast, and then all major platforms. And some people are like, fuck off, and then some people
I'll check it
are
out.
like, yeah, sure. So,
When you make a good enough impression on people, they'll give you a chance.
yeah, I guess if they beat us, they're probably more likely to go watch. But if we beat them like 7-0, I'm like, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
We just stomp them.
Yeah. I
With
don't want
Dead
to
by
fucking watch
Daylight,
this shit.
with Dead by Daylight, I far prefer playing Killer.
Mm.
And playing Killer is a death sentence.
Really quick though, like what is Dead by Daylight? Like
So-
say for people listening that don't know.
Okay, that's fair. Dead by Daylight is an asymmetrical PvP horror game. So you have 4 survivors that are trying to escape this arena that's full of like generators and stuff that you have to work on and complete to power an exit gate, and you have to open the exit gate to get out.
Oh, that sounds stressful.
It can be.
Yes.
It can be. There's a reason Derian pretty much refuses to play Survivor. And then on the other side, you have the killer,
Mm.
and obviously the killer's objective is to kill the survivors.
Yeah.
Now, there are certain things a killer can do that make the game very much not fun for the survivor. But
Do you enjoy doing those things?
on occasion,
Yeah.
listen, if I run into a bully squad,
Oh yeah.
then I will tunnel one of them out of the game.
Yeah.
Whoever's being the biggest asshole, I will tunnel them out of the game.
Yeah.
It's because I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah.
But, if they're all four running around with flashlights and, blinding you every time you pick up a survivor and make you drop them, then you have to start the chase all over again, or they're camping pallets, drop them on your face, stun you, make you drop the fucking survivor, or just in the middle of a chase.
Yeah.
At 5 generators, because you have to complete 5
Yeah.
to power the exit gate.
So you're all stuck in a map.
Yeah.
You got some survivors that come in, and a bad guy trying to kill them. They have to like power up the gate essentially.
And 99% of the time, the survivors are the real bad guys here.
The killer's like innocent.
Yeah.
The
He's like, you
killer-
guys came to my house.
The killer's trying to do their fucking job, and
Yeah.
the survivors are just bullying the hell out of us. It's ridiculous.
You
Now,
guys
as a
are-
survivor, sometimes, it's a little fun to, mess with the killer some. But it sucks as the killer.
Now, is the killer's? I've played it like once or twice, but I never played as the killer's. The killer's viewpoint the same as the survivors, because the survivors are third person, right?
So the survivors are third person, the killer is first person.
Okay, so that makes it a little harder to look around.
Exactly. So, and the game is already very survivor-sided anyway. But the survivors are in third person, so they can be working on an objective and be panning their camera around to look for the killer. Whereas the killer, unless that survivor is, right in front of you, you have no way of seeing
Yeah, you
it.
might not even see them.
Other than a couple of perks that are very good for information.
You can see like tracks or something.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you can see
below
if
it.
somebody's sprinting, you can see scratch marks to help track them. If you hit them, then they leave pools of blood on the ground that you can track, stuff like that. There's a bunch of different perks that will make a survivor scream so you can know exactly what direction to go in.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Does it do the sound based on your earbuds too?
Yeah.
So if they scream over there, you can hear it in your right.
Yeah,
That's
so
awesome.
if you have a good enough headset, spatial audio is 100% a thing.
I love
It's
spatial audio.
fantastic.
Yeah.
But the game is the only reason my streaming career is surviving
So-
at this point.
You think that if you were to branch off into something that was a different one, you might lose viewers and you might lose not monetization, but less monetization or whatever it is.
So I've lost viewers and I've lost followers
Mhm.
when I stopped playing Dead by Daylight, which sucks.
That really restricts you into a certain
Yeah.
direction.
So I've started to just kind of balance it. I'll play Dead by Daylight probably once a week, maybe twice in like a 2-week span, because I stream 2 nights a week right now.
Mm.
But I also try to do game nights on Jackbox, so the whole community can get involved and play games with
That
us.
is cool.
And then recently played a little bit of House Flipper on stream, which is you go into a house that's completely destroyed, trash everywhere, all this shit. You clean it up, and you renovate it, and then you sell it.
Wow.
And for some reason, that does really well.
Home makeover simulator.
Yeah, basically.
It's like farming simulator.
Yeah.
Like, one of those simulator things.
It does really well for some reason. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna be playing more of that.
That's
Fortnite,
awesome.
we have a lot of fun doing creative games
Mm.
because Derian and I build our own maps. So we make our own game modes. to
I
play
do
with
love your
friends.
game modes. They're so fun.
They're wild.
I like the one that's kind of like Team Fortress, where there's two.
Yeah.
And you have different ones you can choose. That one's really fun.
Yeah.
I do like that one a lot. What was it was it the ray gun? I think I really enjoyed the ray gun, but I couldn't win against him. I think he let me kill him probably 7 times, and then he's like, all right, here we go, and just turned it on. So I was like,
I've
all
had
right.
to redesign maps because of Derian.
Yeah. It's ridiculous.
We have one that I made. Basically, you have 2 floating islands
Mm.
with a bridge connecting them, and then you have giant fortresses built on top of those islands out of normal mats, so you can edit them and all of that shit in the middle of the game. Well, the first iteration, Derian liked to sneak over, get under the floorboards, so between the island itself and the floor of the base, and kill us from underneath our base.
What is killing us?
And we have a friend, his name is Saber. He's crazy, and we love him. But anytime he has editing permissions on a map, he'll hide a gun somewhere on the map that only he knows where it is, and it's always like a gun that he's really good with. So he'll go get that gun and then kill everybody. And we're like, where the fuck did you get that?
Yeah.
Well, I tried to delete one of those guns on that map, accidentally deleted the island. Like one of the floating islands that one of the bases was sitting on.
Oh my gosh.
There's no control
They're
Z.
stuck in limbo.
Can't undo it.
Control Z.
Can't undo it. Can't undo it. So we literally had to rebuild that
shit.
entire side. I'm like, you know what? If we're renovating this side, we're gonna renovate the other fucking
They
side.
should add an undo button if
They
you do
should.
make a mistake.
Yeah.
They should.
It makes sense why they wouldn't.
But it was so much.
Yeah.
And now, you know, Derian likes to hide bombs on my maps.
You remember those octopus bombs? Yeah.
Derian likes to hide bombs that do maximum mat damage, like build damage,
Yeah.
and maximum knockback. He did it on that same map that we were just talking about, and it was on a proximity sensor. So you spawn, you try to go down your base to get to the bridge, you set off this bomb, you go flying into the fucking air, and half of your base is destroyed.
He's gonna fall through the earth.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
And it's constant,
Yeah.
and it's ridiculous, but it's so funny,
Yeah.
especially when other people run into them.
How do y'all do on viewers whenever you are doing stuff like that, like the creative type content?
So normally, like in the past, we hadn't done too well, but we actually did a creative night last Wednesday, and I was holding 8 viewers the whole time, which is, you know, about my average right now. Hasn't really gone up much since the beginning.
Yeah.
Viewer count's gone up, not viewer, follower count's gone up. Viewer count really hasn't gone up very much,
It's
which
just
is
a
the
slow grind.
yeah. Well, that's the hard part about any content creation or social media in general.
Yeah.
You can have, you know, 30,000 followers on Instagram and get 5 comments
Yeah.
or like 6 or 7
Yeah.
likes, and like it's just unavoidable.
Yeah.
It's
part
really
of it.
difficult.
You really
Yeah.
struggle.
It's just part of it.
And it can be really disconcerting sometimes.
Yeah.
Like it has on multiple occasions made me question whether or not I want to continue doing streaming or content creation in general, because, you know, stream might do great. YouTube, I'm getting nothing.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is this even worth doing anymore? But then I have to remind myself, okay, I've been luckier than a lot of Twitch streamers, because the speed at which I got affiliate was ridiculous. But about 70% of Twitch streamers never make their first payout. And I've gotten like 10.
That's good.
So I have to remind myself how lucky I've been to encourage myself to keep going.
So what do you mean make their first payout? What is?
So when you hit affiliate, you open up monetization.
Okay.
People can subscribe to you for $5 a month,
Yeah.
and you get half of that. So you get $2.50 per subscription. People can also gift subscriptions to other people that follow you. People can donate, which you can turn that on before you hit affiliate, but it's not recommended. You know, it's just not recommended. But people can start donating bits, which it's like 1 bit is 1 cent. So people have all these ways to give you money, and that unlocks when you hit affiliate. You have to hit $100 in your account. People have to have donated a total of $100 through bits or subscriptions before you get a payout.
That's cool.
And about 70% of streamers
Is your goal
never hit $100. We have a friend that's been streaming for 5 years that has never gotten a payout.
Gee.
Since 2015, actually.
That's crazy.
Since 2015, so 7 years.
That's crazy.
And
Does he stream
What
pretty
is he
consistently?
playing?
yeah, pretty
what is he
consistent.
doing?
Paladins and
World of Warcraft.
yeah, Paladins and WoW.
I think WoW just might be because of just the saturation. There's,
Yeah,
you know, it's a
and-
lot.
Same with, like,
but
Fortnite.
Dead by Daylight's pretty saturated too, though, isn't it?
Dead by Daylight's pretty saturated, but at the same time, you know, when you're playing and you have that TTV in your name,
Yeah.
people are gonna go to your stream if for no other reason
But to
than
troll
to
you.
see if you're shit talking.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're shit talking and they pop into your stream, then you know, not gonna go great.
Yeah.
But if you play a really good game, you're nice in the in-game chat, and you know you're just having a all-around good time with the people that you've played with, then you have a much better chance of them popping into your chat and
Whenever-
sticking around.
Whenever
You follow.
we do the Rocket League, and he'll dunk on somebody, or he's like, what a save, what a save, what a save. Only if they're like, you know, being rude or whatever. And like our name's up there, you know, so I'm just like, or like we're thinking like, man, like what if we do that and we get like a bad review, or you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
somebody
you know?
comes in, just talks some mad shit to us too.
Yeah.
So is streaming, like, is that your ultimate goal? You want to like be like big streamer, or do you have kind of some other goals or things you want to accomplish?
So I would like to make it big as a streamer. I'd also like to be a professional actor. Both of those are kind of up to chance at this point. Like it's not a guarantee that anybody will succeed doing any of those things.
Yeah.
Content creation is one of the hardest professions you can be in. So
Seems so simple on the surface.
yeah, yeah. People see people like Mr. Beast or PewDiePie or Ninja making all of this fucking money. They're like, I can do that, no problem.
Yeah.
No, you can't. Like you have to work, and even then, that work might not get you to that level.
Yeah.
I know plenty of incredible streamers that still have to work full-time jobs to live, even if they're holding 75 viewers. Like we have a friend that's a partner on Twitch, which you have to have an average viewer count of 75, and you have to have over 1,000 followers. That's really fucking hard.
That sounds hard because we're having a hard time. with
Yeah,
that.
like that's really hard to do. And he's one of the nicest guys I've ever met. He does a ton of charity work. He does like charity Dead by Daylight tournaments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he still has to work a full-time job because he can't support himself off of the money he makes from Twitch alone. And it is really, really rare for a content creator to be able to do that.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Beast, all of the big streamers, all the big YouTube content creators, they're by far the exception, not the rule. There's no guarantee that you'll ever even hit 100 followers
Yeah.
or 100 subscribers on YouTube. It is all up to luck. You know, you might put out one clip that goes viral, and that's what launches your career.
That's one of the things that we've been looking into is just like now that we have like video and stuff, and we're gonna try to come out with like 6 to 7 reels per like video episode, cut those, post them for 7 days in between episodes, and releasing on schedule and all these different things. But it's just I guess you just never know. Like my fiance, she posted a video of me and her. And it was like a video like in the Philippines or whatever, and she did like 83,000 views. And then every other video that she posted like after that was anywhere from like 500 to like 3,000. And that's one of the things that Sean was talking about too. Is like you're gonna have that one that hits, and then like you're gonna go down for a while, and then you're gonna have that next one that hits. And it's like you're saying though, it's just like whether you're just going to be blessed by like the algorithm gods or something, or it's a really interesting process for sure.
It's all up to the algorithm, and it's all up to how hard you're willing to work.
Yeah.
Because
I think people
mean-
see content creation as like, it's easy and you don't have to work. And that's
Yeah.
one thing we're learning. We never thought we wouldn't have to work, but how much more it actually goes into things and you realize, like I was telling you before, it took us an hour or two just to get the video set up the way we want it to.
Yeah.
Not to mention even the video editing, him exporting the video and all that stuff.
Took almost 4 hours.
Yeah, it's 4 hours just to export it, which is cool because you can do it in the meantime.
But I'm
kind of
also
thing.
using
Yeah.
free software, right? So if we were to pay for it, we would get a feature called hardware acceleration and it would export quicker.
So
Yeah.
It's like we're dropping money.
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, like there is no part of content creation that isn't a shit ton of hard work.
Yeah.
So
Editing,
it takes a lot of time out of your day,
Yeah.
man.
editing videos, and editing things like a podcast because I have experience with that as well.
That's right, you do a
That's-
podcast.
Yeah, I really
I
need
keep
to
forgetting
get
about that.
back
I've listened to a
up.
couple episodes.
I need to get that back up. I fell into a depression pit and kind of stopped making it, so I'm trying to get myself back.
It
up.
does happen.
What
It does
hosting
happen.
service were you using?
Anchor.
Anchor. Okay.
We use Buzzsprout.
That was like our other option. We went with Buzzsprout.
Yeah, because Anchor's is a free thing, and you can record on something else and upload it, or you can record on Anchor with a link to bring people in from that can't physically be with you.
Mm,
It's completely free,
that's lit.
and it automatically uploads to Spotify, and like immediately.
Yeah.
By default, it uploads to Spotify and to Anchor's podcast catalog
That's cool. That's cool.
because Spotify owns Anchor.
How did you
do that.
feel? I didn't know that either. How did you feel though about like the whole like podcasting thing? How about finding like your niche and all that different stuff?
I love it,
Mm.
but it's difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to stay on track.
Yeah.
I've had people on my show and we end up just rambling, or I'll have one person that just won't shut the fuck up. Like,
Like if you have on multiple people?
yeah,
Yeah.
like if I have 3 people, me and 2 other people, I always end up with one person that will not shut the fuck up and
Yeah,
let the other
Derian.
guests speak.
No, you're right.
No, is that really?
No, Derian, believe it or not, Derian is the most efficient person I've ever had on any episode of the
Says what he has to
podcast.
say and then stops.
Yeah. Like,
Makes
whereas
sense.
it might take me a full 45 minutes, hour and a half
Mm.
to get the things that I want to talk about out of the way with multiple people. With Derian, I can have the whole thing done in 30 minutes.
See, so you go in with like a
talent.
plan.
Oh, yeah.
On your podcast. See, ours.
Oh, yeah.
We come in like free form. Like we have nothing.
So I always go in with basic interview questions, very much targeted at whoever I'm going to be talking to. So I go in with that, and then I go in with 1 or 2 topics that I want to talk about outside of just personal experience, and then we go from there. If I'm doing it by myself, I have a full script. I've scripted the whole fucking
That's wild.
and normally it takes me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to script it, and then I get it recorded, and it takes 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
I mean, I like that though, because you're just reading it off. Like,
Exactly.
and even if you do like some type of like acapella or well not acapella but like free form or whatever, you can always come back to like reference and it's like
Exactly.
it's there. That's nice. I think
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It keeps from dead spaces,
Yeah.
and it makes it easier to edit as well.
Yeah.
If you have a script and you follow that script, obviously you've already come up with what you're gonna say. Like, it's still your thoughts and your words and everything. It's just prepared before the fact.
Mm.
Like, it makes it so much easier to edit and do everything else because you don't have those awkward pauses where you're thinking of what to say next.
Yeah.
You don't have those really weird instances where you're like, I'm repeating myself over and over and over again. I need to move forward. I need to move to the next thing. You're not caught tripping yourself on your words. You know exactly what you're gonna say, you know exactly when to say it, and it just makes it easier for your brain to handle, and it makes it easier for you to edit in the future.
Okay. So what I kind of get from you so far, man, is I kind of asked like your goals earlier. It seems like you really like to entertain people, whether that's through acting or just creating content of your own liking, like your podcast, your Twitch. Do you have a YouTube channel? And things
I
like
do.
that? Yeah. So you just like to create content, you like to entertain, and that's really cool, man.
The thing with entertaining is there's always going to be one person that you're the bright spot of their day. You know,
Yeah.
when you're acting, when you're on a stage, you never know what somebody's headspace is like when they walk into that theater, when they walk into that movie. You know, you have no idea what they're going through, but what you do on stage has infinite possibilities to make their day better. And that's what I live for. I live to help people. That's why I'm here. I've known that since I was a little kid. That's why, you know, even in my freshman year of high school, I was leading a little den of Cub Scouts with my mom. That's why when I graduated high school, I was the assistant scoutmaster for the troop that I grew up in. Being able to help people is so rewarding. Because let's be honest, nobody helps people solely for other people.
Yeah, it's
Right.
always some string attached.
When you help other people and you make this habit of it and you're doing it over and over again, and it becomes like your passion, it's because it also gives you that sense of accomplishment. It gives you that sense of, oh, I feel good because I'm making other people feel good.
Yeah.
You always get something out of it in return,
So
even if it's just a mental thing.
I know that you and your family are like really, really big on mental health awareness,
Yes.
and I know that we talked in Derian's about the nonprofit and things like that. But what got y'all into mental health awareness, and how do you, in particularly, handle your own mental illness, and how do you mental health awareness, and how do you come out of your own holes? Because as you know, I have my own conditions. I have the things that work for me. What do you do, and what got you into it?
Probably not the healthiest things.
It's typically not.
But you know, we started the nonprofit when Derian was in the hospital. There was an 8-month span where Derian was in and out of the hospital 11 times.
What was the name of the nonprofit that you guys
The
started?
Lost and Found
The
Initiative.
Lost and Found Initiative.
Um,
For the viewers.
Yes.
The Lost and Found Initiative.
the Lost and Found
You can find them on
Initiative.
Instagram.
So Derian had been running this suicide hotline out of his bedroom with his best friend when they were in high school, right? And it took a massive toll on their mental health. And then Derian and I went through really, really ugly breakups at the exact same time. And we had been in abusive, manipulative relationships that were just tearing us down to our core. And we ended up getting out of those relationships at the same time, and it destroyed us both. Derian ended up in the hospital several times and inpatient. And one day, our mom called me and she was like, "Hey, come up to the office. I need to talk to you about something." I'm like, that never bodes well. I don't like this.
We need to talk.
I get in there and she's like, "Okay, we need to do something. We need to do something to help people that feel like Derian." Because at that point, she had no idea I was as bad as I was. Our parents didn't know I was as bad off as I was until the 4th or 5th time Derian ended up in the hospital, and I finally cracked.
Yeah.
In this moment where you're with your mom, was this the first time? Was it the first
Yeah.
It was the very first time you went out of the hospital?
No, 3rd time.
Third time.
3rd time. And we came up with the concept for the Lost and Found initiative then and there. and within 24 hours, I had a venue, a production crew, and a theme.
You said 24 hours?
You're
Damn.
definitely a go-getter.
For our first event. And it was this big musical showcase where we had initially 35 actors. We ended up with 20. Derian has no fucking clue. He's no help.
Just here for the ride.
But we ended
He's
up
just
with,
enjoying that corner.
Yeah. We ended up with about 20 actors by the end of it. We went through like 2 stage managers and 2 choreographers and 2 music directors, because people kept getting these really good opportunities. I was like, no, you need to go take that right now. Like,
Yeah.
our original choreographer ended up being offered a paying gig to choreograph West Side Story.
Wow.
I'm like, no, you go fucking do that.
Yeah.
Like, you go right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So, you know, we went through a lot of people just because people kept getting these opportunities that they really just couldn't turn down, and even if they tried, I wouldn't have let them.
Yeah.
By the time we got to the actual show, it was a train wreck. I'm gonna be honest with you. There were a lot of things that were out of our control that just kind of screwed everything up. But we put on a good show. We helped a lot of really good people. We raised a lot of money. And then the pandemic hit.
Wow.
So we've been able to do a couple of small things throughout the pandemic, but nothing to that level. We're working on getting that back.
Yeah.
But we have to like renew our 501c3. We have to get a bank account locked down. We couldn't do that during the pandemic because we couldn't get an appointment with the bank.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot that goes into running a nonprofit. And because I am the president of said nonprofit, a lot of it falls on me.
Wow.
And it's stressful.
You're the president.
Especially while you're still dealing with your own things. As
Yeah.
well.
I've been dealing with major depressive disorder for pretty much my entire life. Severe anxiety, manic depression. So in a way, kind of bipolar.
Is it genetic or you just trauma?
I believe it is both.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to get too much into that either because it's probably really personal.
I've been through a lot. I got bullied a lot in school. That caused a lot of anxiety. I've had 3 relationships that weren't incredibly abusive.
Yeah.
2 of which I'm still really good friends with those girls.
That's good.
One of them is a mod for my Twitch chat.
There you go.
And she's one of my best friends.
Yeah.
But the things that I've been through and the things that I've had to deal with, like, I've either been to or missed 45 funerals in my life. And for reference, I'm 25 years old.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot of loss.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
And it's been a lot. It's been really difficult for me to adjust to that. And you'd think by now I'd be used to losing people, but that's not something you ever get used
Grief
Never
to.
is
gets
powerful, man.
It is.
Extremely powerful.
So, I mean, I've dove headfirst into a bottle. I've, picked up nicotine, which I'm still trying to get off of.
It's a process.
It's a lot.
I guess everything is a process.
Yeah. I've disappeared into my room and not come out for days at a time.
Yeah.
Shit, I've been doing that the last several days. Like,
I'm glad you came out here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here.
you guys, like, it's hard for you guys to not get me out. But unless I'm like actually physically sick.
Yeah.
But I've learned to start putting the effort that I tried to put into relationships into my friendships.
I like that.
And the vast majority of my friends are way out of state, which makes things difficult.
It does.
But I can still hang out with them whenever I want.
Yeah. We live in a world where it's, doing things virtual or online is easy, right?
Sometimes it's easier to spend
and-
time with your friend
yeah.
that's in another country than it is to spend time with a friend that's down the street.
It makes things convenient,
Yeah. So I've started putting putting that effort into my friendships and putting that effort into my brother, because there was a time that I was not the best sibling.
We've all been there.
I neglected Derian a lot. I was mean, and I think a lot of it was because I felt jealous of the fact that my career tanked when the pandemic started and his skyrocketed.
That's good that you acknowledge that. That's a really
yeah.
good. That's a hard thing to say.
It's difficult.
Yeah,
And,
that's good that you did that.
Our dad puts so much energy into Darian's career that I, again, got very jealous.
Mhm.
He was like, where's that effort with me, you know?
Sure.
And then I was reminded, my whole family was there for every fucking show I did at Artisan.
Mhm.
They were volunteering to run concessions or to be, I don't even remember what the word is, the people that take you to your fucking seat.
Usher?
Oh, sure.
Usher.
Yeah.
God.
Put me in charge.
Derian was backstage for almost every show I've been on, working tech.
Yeah.
Hell, Derian was in the pit choir for Newsies when I did it. He was performing with me. He might not have been on stage, but he was performing with me.
Yeah.
And I realized, okay, I might not be getting all that effort from my parents now,
Mhm.
but I had it then. It's Darian's turn.
Mhm.
Now we're following him everywhere. I'm running sound for him almost, 3 times a fucking week
Yeah.
at this point.
He's the next John Mayer, Do some rhymes.
See, that's what I'm hoping. And we keep telling him, if you go big, you got to take us with us. You got to take us with you on tour.
That's what I like about your family the most, man. Is that
So supportive.
y'all are supportive, man, and y'all are so tight knit. And it's sometimes that's hard to find, man. It's hard to find people like that, and that's what what really draws us into y'all. It's just because y'all love and support each other so much. And for you to say that you were jealous and all that different stuff, dude, that's huge. That takes some big humility. And I mean, and even, what people don't realize is whenever you do admit something like that, there's so much guilt and weight that's lifted off of your shoulders.
Yeah.
Because what people who live in a loving and caring family do, they go, it was never that, and they give you a hug or something. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was they might have been a little harsh with how they reacted to it. We've always been there, but
Yeah.
most of the time, it's from a place of love, I guess.
And,
But
don't get me wrong, there are still problems.
yeah,
There's still tension sometimes. I've been a lot more open with some of the things that I've been going through for the last several years, and it's created a little bit of tension in the house. It's made it. That's kind of why I've been hiding in my room so much. Why I don't want to go anywhere. It's because I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with this.
right.
But at the end of the day, we're always there for each other. Always. No matter what's going on, if I say, Mom, I need you, she's right there.
It's awesome.
If I say, Dad, I need you, again, right there. If I say, Darian, I need you, he'll come busting through the wall like the fucking Kool-Aid man going, I'm here, bitch. I never have to feel alone.
Yeah.
Because my family is always there.
What are some of your healthy coping mechanisms that you've learned along the way through your
Take your fucking meds.
Yeah.
If you have gotten professional help and they prescribe medication, take your fucking meds.
They know what they're talking about.
Go to your actually go to your therapy appointments.
Yeah.
Don't bail on them.
Yeah.
But I think the big thing has been acknowledging when I'm not doing the best
Mhm.
and saying, you know what? I need to not go anywhere I need to sit down and I need to be with my friends and I need to just chill.
Yeah.
That's the thing that's gotten me out of so many difficult situations, because I have a few friends, specifically my friend Penn, that I can literally talk about anything with him. And if something's wrong, he immediately knows. And he can sit down and talk it out with me. And in the end, I will feel better because of it.
Yeah.
You know, our friend Sirius, who you guys have met, I think. I'm gonna say yes.
Don't think
I like his name. I've seen him on your Discord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sirius and Beth, who y'all definitely.
Yeah, I know
yeah,
Beth.
we know Beth.
The two of them, Sirius actually lives with Beth now, which is great. We just moved Sirius back down from Philly to move in with Beth.
It's good. It's good.
But they're always there. You know, even if Beth is in the middle of working, if I call her and I say, hey, I'm not doing okay, she will step out of that lesson and she'll check on me.
That's good.
Like, I've been lucky enough to have some of the best friends anybody could ask for. I have you guys. We met at a Halloween party
Yeah.
last year.
I meant to say that at
Like-
the beginning, like how I met you, but my mind just kind of fucking blanked
Yeah.
for a second
Like,
there.
we met
Hey,
at a Halloween
you own a
party for
pizza
somebody
shop or
I
something,
hadn't.
right?
Oh God. Oh no. Like the fact that I decided to go to this Halloween party for somebody that I hadn't talked to in 5 fucking years, and met you, and then met you, like it. I don't believe everything happens for a reason, but I think you can make something out of anything that happens.
I do agree with that. That was
And
awesome, yeah.
I think that's what that Halloween party was. You know, I went, I was uncomfortable. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore.
See, I felt the same way because I felt like shit that day. My
Yeah.
allergies were killing me that day.
But I stuck it out. Derian pulled out his fucking uke and started playing, and all of a sudden, there you were.
Wow, that's really cool, man.
Came out of the light of the kitchen, just a silhouette of a large figure.
It's just, is
Yeah.
that misery business?
Yeah. Hey man, do you know Death Cab for Cutie?
And you know, now here we are. Like, no matter what happens, no matter what situation you're in, you can always make something out of it. And that's what I guess all of us did that
Yeah.
night. You know, none of us really wanted to be there, but we turned it into something good and productive, because now not only do we have, you know, great friends in you guys, we also have, you know, these crazy like partnerships that we can do with all of our content creation, with the podcasts and the
We
stream.
really
and-
support each other.
Exactly.
you know?
We can sit here and be like, oh yeah, I'll watch stream, or yeah, I'll listen to the podcast.
Yeah.
I'll pimp y'all out. You
Yeah,
know.
I've listened to a few of your episodes. I don't think I listened to all of them, but I listened to the first few for sure. I know I listened to his, and I think a couple others.
Everybody listened to Darian's. I'm not even kidding. Derian has 30 to 40 more listens than any other episode.
What's your? So he has your highest number. What?
Derian has the
Are
highest.
you want
number.
to tell us what that number is, or would you prefer that that's private?
Let's find out.
I try to hide all of our numbers, but now with us coming out on YouTube, like it's impossible to hide.
It's impossible
Like,
to
at least
hide
the-
numbers, but at least you can't see.
People see the YouTube views, but they don't see what we're getting on like these other platforms.
Yeah. Oh, Derian, you've been overtaken
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
by the first episode.
Our first episode does well too.
Yeah, our first is like a lot more than even.
It's like I think it's
second.
118.
131. I know.
My first episode is at 200 plays.
Damn.
Everything else is between like 10 and 50.
How'd you get it to 200? Like, what do you think you did
I
to
have no idea.
push it that way?
No clue.
No idea. Interesting.
I advertised it once on TikTok. I talked about it on stream, and that was about it. I think I might have posted the first episode on Facebook, but that's it.
Yeah, we tried running some ads for some. I think we ran some ads for like a few particular episodes when we first started.
We got a lot of clicks, like one of them, like, well over 10,000 clicks.
Mhm.
I mean, it was a lot, but the views weren't there.
Like
right?
nobody really
So-
listened to it. Like they saw,
Yeah.
like we had the clicks, but
Yeah.
nobody actually listened to the podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the problem is keeping people engaged enough to listen to the whole episode.
Yeah.
It's a struggle, especially when you have longer episodes.
Yeah, and that's why we limited ourselves to an hour to an hour and a half.
Yeah,
Like, we would love to sit down, you know, with some people to come on 2, 3, 4 hours. But first of all, we don't have that kind of time in our day.
Yeah.
And second of all, like, in order, like, how do you keep somebody retained that long?
see,
and
that's when you do a
eyeballs that
4-hour
long?
interview and just split it into 4 episodes.
Yeah. Well, see,
Yeah.
I'm thinking about doing that with some of ours. Is like, okay, I can release this whole one, but I can also release it in 4 parts as well, so somebody can watch the whole thing or watch it in parts. And
Yeah.
it's just more, technically, it's more content
Yeah.
to be released.
When
or
you
whatever.
release it in parts, especially if you make it more bite-sized, you know, if you take like an hour and a half episode that's full of a lot of information and a lot of really interesting things, split it into 3 30-minute episodes. Boom, there you go. You have more content, and it's going to be easier for people to listen through the entire episode.
Yeah.
Podcasts are best for road trips, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for us, you know, we just drive all day, so I have an earbud over here so that nobody in the back can see it, and I'm just listening to podcasts with the radio on. So it's nice, it's easy for me. But
Yeah.
I know for most people, it's either they're working out, they're on a road trip, you know, whether they're it's driving,
Yeah, driving to
for
work.
20 minutes to work, 20 minutes back. But at the same time, it's like not everybody wants to attend a meeting at work, and then whenever they get done attending that meeting, listen to people talking for another hour. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't expect to retain everybody or, you know, get everybody in the world. Like, there's a specific demographic that listens to podcasts. And my main goal is to just have fun with the people that we have on.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, that's
and
the
literally
important-
connect with people, right? Like,
that's the
you know,
important thing.
we're
you know?
networking.
Like, when you approach content creation as a career, you're gonna fail.
Yeah, you're gonna be really disappointed. Like,
Exactly.
the very first week, you're gonna be like, "What the fuck did I
Yeah.
get into?"
when you start Twitch or YouTube or you start a podcast and you're there with the intent to make money off of it, it's not gonna fucking happen because people can see that a mile away.
Yeah.
You have to be there because you're having fun with it and because
Yeah.
you want to engage with people. That's what's gonna make you money, is making friends with all these people.
Yeah.
You make friends with them, you build connections, and they're going to be more invested. They're gonna
Yeah.
show up more. You can get the ad revenue, you can get whatever, but the more you connect with them, the more personal you are with your community,
Yeah.
the more they'll trust you, the more invested they'll be. And
You find it, kind of interrupting you here.
no, you're
But
good.
do you find it hard to interact with your community considering your own mental health? Like, when you get into those depressive episodes, you still have like your community, people do want to watch you, people are in your Discord. Like, how do you manage that? Like, how do you feel even in those situations?
Sometimes it's really easy to still do everything. A lot of times if I'm in a really bad headspace, I might cancel stream, but I'll do a Discord game night to just hang out with friends. And that kind of pulls me out. But I mean, I've taken mental health breaks before. You know, I took a week off when I was in inpatient. But when you build such a good connection with your community, it makes it so much easier. You know, it makes it easier to be present even when you're not doing well, because that's your happy place.
You enjoy it.
Exactly. It gives you that serotonin that you're lacking, and you feel better by the end of it. You know, like that's part of why I loved doing movie nights in Discord. Like, I might not feel like gaming, I might not feel like, you know, entertaining people, but I'll throw on a movie in Discord, and then by the end of the movie, you know, even just sitting there in silence watching
Yeah.
with a bunch of my friends, I feel better, and then we can have a conversation about the movie.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
Ken
not
and
just
I.
stuck in your thoughts too. You know?
Exactly.
Your thoughts are towards the movie, not your own
Exactly.
self-destructive bullshit or whatever you got going on.
Exactly. I mean, Penn and I, we watched the entire first season of Our Flag Means Death in one sitting. When both of us were in a really bad headspace.
That's awesome.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna show you this show because it's really gay and it's really fun. And we sat down and we watched the entire available season in one sitting.
Yeah.
That's like 6 hours.
Yeah.
We watched all of it and felt great after.
Yeah.
And now I have this shirt because Penn was like, gay Blackbeard. Here's his flag.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. This is Blackbeard's flag.
What is this, like a pirate show?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Blackbeard is one of the main characters. And he's played by Taika Waititi.
That's crazy.
So like,
Have you ever played Sea of Thieves?
I hate Sea of Thieves.
Oh.
I wish
I don't blame
enjoyed
you
it.
because it's toxic.
I really wish I enjoyed it.
It's a really fun game. It's just, man, like, there's just people out there, they just, whenever they just mess you up. They
It's
mess
the
you up
worst
bad.
when you have a fun game that's ruined by the community
Yeah,
or by the devs.
yeah. That's it.
Call of Duty.
Yeah.
You know, Call of Duty is ruined by the devs not doing their damn jobs,
Mm.
and then by the company covering up all the shit that they covered up.
Mm.
You know,
Like the Blizzard frat
yeah.
whatever.
The
Yeah.
fact that they were covering up things like sexual abuse,
Yeah.
like sexual assault, harassment, actual flat out bullying,
Mm.
and physical assault. They're covering all of that shit up.
I just can't help but think like we should have seen it coming because like literally you sit in a Call of Duty lobby and you're like people are calling people the N-word and all
Yeah.
kinds of different things and
Like if this community is this bad, how bad is the dev team?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
It's hard.
Seriously.
When a fun game is ruined by the community,
Yeah.
it's heartbreaking, really.
Yeah.
Because Dead by Daylight has come close a couple of times to being completely ruined by its community,
Yeah. I think like man,
especially by the survivor community.
That's what I was telling him, man. I think communities ruin things.
yeah, we were talking about that. What was it just yesterday, wasn't it? I'm talking
Yeah.
about like World of Warcraft and stuff too, man.
WoW,
I've been playing
League of
for-
Legends,
Yeah.
Smite, they've all been ruined by the community.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like WoW or League of Legends,
Mm.
but I enjoyed Smite.
Yeah,
But
so mine
the
was
community-
a cool concept.
The community's just terrible,
Yeah.
you know? Like,
That's just like that's kind of like what we're finding too. I mean, just even like, I mean, me in particularly, I'm starting to realize that like I think I might have like an addiction to like gaming and stuff because it's like just the dopamine release, and I'll be playing like video games. Like I'll download games on my phone because I don't have my computer. And I'll be playing these games on my phone, and I'll get tired of it, it's not hitting right. I'll download another game, not hitting right, I download another game, not hitting right, and I go through all these different games, and I just delete them all, and I start over again, I just keep doing it, and it's just something that's not, like, hitting. And I think I'm getting to this point where, like, I've smoked weed for so many years, right? And now I'm, like, going over to acid, and now I'm going over to cocaine. Now I'm about to go over to meth, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, no. But like it's just this whole process of like
this is a metaphor, y'all.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
a metaphor. But like it's just not
Really
it's not hitting the same, you know?
Yeah.
Me and my brother, we've been playing WoW since vanilla, like since it first came out. He's been playing a lot more than I have because I've taken breaks like in between expansions and stuff, but it's just it gets to a point where like you want to play it so much, but then like you're in this constant state of disappointment, and I feel like there's like this inevitable place that all video gamers are going to get to, and then what that place ends up being is that you're not getting the dopamine hit that you first got when you first did drugs, because everybody's first like marijuana experience or acid experience or whatever it is the most intense, and you'll never get that again. Same thing with like WoW. I'll never experience vanilla WoW the way that I did whenever I was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
How amazing it was, and I was like, wow, this is so cool. And then now that I'm like, 29, almost 30, those games, they just don't hit the same. And then like the community becomes toxic. They added a thing where they did like time dungeons, and you have to beat a dungeon on an increased difficulty with more health. They get harder, stuff like that. There's more mechanics in the dungeons and stuff, and you'd have to clear in like 41 minutes. And if you make a mistake, if you step in the wrong thing one time, or you die once, or you can only die like really like 5 times without like failing the dungeon. And then like, dude, like people will like roast you alive, and it's like, what happened to the community, like the games that were fun?
Yeah.
That all of these games are competitive. All of these games, like there's no like, you can't play like Super Mario. You have to do a Super Mario speed run. And if you screw up, your whole chat's gonna blow you up and say, "Oh, dude, you suck. You need to quit doing this." You know what I mean? Like,
That's why
it's crazy.
That's why in Dead by Daylight, I don't solo queue as Survivor.
Yeah.
If I'm playing Survivor, I have a full team with me
Mm-hmm.
because I don't feel like dealing with randos being shitty.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like if I suck, I suck. I get it, but it's like at the same time, it's like,
You're gonna have fun.
yeah,
Exactly.
I'm playing a video
Jeez,
game.
man, why are you
I
so
don't.
miserable?
Yeah, that's like, especially the Rocket League community is toxic.
Yeah.
And I love playing with him because we have that communication. But whenever it comes to like, you know, you're queuing with somebody and they happen to hit a good shot and you go up there and, you know, do it, but like instead of you like hitting it to block it, you actually help it go in, and people just roast you. I mean, they just roast you alive. And it's
Yeah.
like, I feel like that's like the inevitable place for like all gamers. Now, it could be, you know, maybe somehow it goes into a different direction, but I was like, with all these competitive games, it's like it just doesn't ever. And the anonymity, or however you say it, like being anonymous on you know, like you don't have a face, you don't have identity, and people can say whatever the fuck they want without any repercussions. It's crazy, man.
That's
It's a really crazy place to be.
See, and that's another thing that makes content creation hard, is the competitive nature of gaming, and then you get to a point where you just feel like gaming is a job, and
Yeah.
you don't want to do it anymore.
That's like the Dead by Daylight thing we were talking about the
Yeah.
other day.
Yeah,
You know?
Start to burn out after you put.
exactly.
You know, video games are all fun and games, but play them for 60 to 80 hours in a week. You're gonna be like, man, I want to go outside.
See, and
I want to get a sunburn.
Yeah.
I was at a point for a long time where I didn't play a game if it wasn't on stream,
Yeah.
because I felt like I had to be on
Yeah.
all the time.
Jesus.
Like you have to be streaming every day to grow,
Yeah.
and kind of.
And that's what they say. Yeah. That's what
Kind
they
of.
say. Yeah.
But at the same time, like, you really don't. You just have to, you know, be fun enough that people actually come
Be entertaining.
and stay there.
Mm.
But I've gotten to a point where I'm gaming a lot off stream now.
Yeah.
Um,
You think it's a good thing?
it's
Balance.
it's a good thing, but at the same time, okay, to put things into perspective, 4 days ago now, Penn bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla for me,
It's awesome.
which, you know, I've been wanting to play for a long time. Since it came out, I've been dying to play that fucking game.
Yeah, it's sick.
I've had it for 4 days. I've played 23 and a half hours.
Oh.
When I got Odyssey, because
Odyssey's good too.
as a pagan,
Hmm.
I pray to the Greek gods.
Hmm.
So a Greek game, a game set in ancient Greece, I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh
cool.
yeah. I've sunk 150 hours into Odyssey.
It's awesome.
It's a problem.
It's a big game though.
It is.
Really big
It
game.
is. But I did that in like 3 weeks.
Damn.
I was playing non-stop. Like I was canceling stream to play Odyssey,
Yeah.
Damn.
or I was just streaming my run of Odyssey like halfway through.
Yeah.
That's
That's
like I don't want to stop playing this game, but I need to stream, so y'all get to jump halfway into this story. Like
That's what I feel like that next hit is. You know?
Yeah.
You get that new game that hasn't quite done it like these other games did. There's some new content that they have that they've never really done before. And then that's whenever I first started playing Rocket League. That's how it was for me, man.
yeah,
I remember I spent 9 hours. I was supposed to go to work that day. Like I do Uber, you know, and I could just kind of like take off if I wanted to. I was supposed to go to work that day. I was at my dad's house, my little brother's Xbox. I just sat there for 9 hours, bro. I was just playing it. It's like, this game is. I've never played anything like this before. This is something else, you know. Like,
yeah. It's wild the way these games can trap us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and sometimes you don't care.
Mm.
And then other times you look back at what you've done with that game, you're like, I've got a fucking problem. Like,
Yeah.
Fortnite, I don't want to know how much my account is worth.
Yeah.
I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely scared.
So you can sell your account and you can.
You can, but then it can get banned. But
I put a shit ton of money into a game called Neverwinter.
I've heard of it, never
It's like
played
it's
it.
Dungeons and Dragons.
D&D game.
Yeah, it's a D&D game, man. I easily spent at least $2,000 in a few months, like 3 or 4 months.
I probably
Yeah.
spent about
Yeah.
$3,000 to $4,000 in Fortnite.
Sorry to interrupt. Is Neverwinter worth it?
It was fun at the time. I kind of got bored of it, but I was like trying to run a guild and shit, and I don't want to do any of that.
Ever
Like,
again.
yeah,
I tried to get him on WoW,
I
and he's
know.
like, I'm never coming back.
Yeah.
I'm never
I know.
doing it again.
That's how I was with Elder Scrolls Online. I got on it, I was like, oh, this is fun.
Yeah.
I got 10 hours in, I'm like, fuck this. No.
Yeah.
I deleted it.
The grind, man.
Yeah.
It just doesn't stop.
Well, and there are certain games that are like, if you weren't on since the very beginning, you don't have a chance in hell.
Yeah.
Like, Rocket League is kind of one of those. Dead by Daylight can be.
Mhm.
It depends on how hard you work. The MMR has made it a little easier.
Thank God.
Call of Duty is like that. Battlefield is like that. Sea of Thieves is really like
Sea of
that.
Thieves is bad. You can get the best player to ever play the game in the same lobby as you.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Bad.
Like, there's so many games that if you weren't on from day one, you're fucked.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite. I was a beta tester.
Yeah.
Hell, I was playing the closed alpha.
Yeah. Wow.
I can't even play that fucking game.
Yeah, it's hard.
It has
Maybe
gotten
playing since
so
6 months.
competitive and so difficult that I can't even play it. I've been playing Halo for years.
Yeah.
Like, one of the first games I ever played was Halo Combat Evolved. And I think I probably sunk about 1,000 hours into that fucking game. I was playing that multiplayer every day for hours at a time.
Yeah.
What's your most played game ever, all time, your whole life?
Ooh. That's a great question.
Just go check my stats real quick.
Honestly, it would probably be either Combat Evolved, Skyrim, or Odyssey. Because I sunk even more hours into Odyssey. I've lost track.
Just replaying it?
Yeah. And my my Xbox app, the counter restarted.
Oh no.
So I have no idea.
That sucks.
I just know it's a shit ton.
Yeah.
I think my most played game, I started playing it in like 2005, 2006. It was called Wyvern. It was a really small
Okay.
time game.
Yeah.
Like, no one's ever heard of it. Back then, the most I'd ever seen on at any given time was like 100-something people. And, like, one of my characters had like 30-something days worth of time. Just on that one character. Then I had a couple others. And then the game went down for a while and came back up like 2012, 2013 probably. I sunk another like 10 days on another character, like fucking day here, day there. I mean, it's got probably over 1,000 hours on that game.
If I had to guess with Combat Evolved, with how much I played it and how much I was still playing it a few years ago, I'd say my hour count, like I'm probably at 50 to 60 days.
Are you like top on the leaderboards or anything? On the leaderboards? Yeah.
No.
See, my time paid off. I'm like number 2 on one of the leaderboards.
See, Black
like,
Ops
top
Even
100.
today?
Yeah. like,
Black
today
Ops
still.
2, I was really fucking good at.
Yeah.
Like, I was in tournaments all the time.
Yeah.
But that was the only Call of Duty game that I was ever that good at. Like, Black Ops 3 came out, I was dog shit.
I feel like they always change so much. It would be nice if they made like a little bit of change.
Yeah.
But, like there was like almost like a completely different game going into them.
Well, there's 2 different companies making them.
Thanks.
Yeah, in case you didn't know.
I didn't know that.
3.
3? Because you had Activision and you had Treyarch.
So you have, Activision is the parent company. You have
Okay.
Treyarch, Infinity Ward, and what's it called? Ravensoft, maybe?
I was a huge fan of Modern Warfare 3.
I enjoyed Modern Warfare 3. Derian and I played the shit out of Modern Warfare 2019.
2019. That's the one they just released from the first one. The
So,
first Modern Warfare, right? It's like
It's a reboot.
reboot. That's exciting.
It's a hard reboot.
That's awesome.
Now you still have characters like Price and all of them in it.
Mm.
And they just announced the new Modern Warfare 2. Yeah, they're calling it Modern Warfare 2, even though there's already a Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
And you know they're gonna have Modern Warfare 3. Whatever.
They're just running out of shit.
But they're
Come out
literally
with a new fucking game.
Yeah.
they're literally bringing back the entirety of the fucking task force from the original Modern Warfare games. All of them.
That's crazy.
Soap is back, Gaz is back, Price is back, Ghost is back. They're all there. And you're like, what's the fucking point here?
Yeah.
And in the fucking trailer, they're showing the scene on like a big cargo ship and everything. I'm like, this is just the original Modern Warfare.
I feel like a lot of these companies aren't doing things really originally anymore. They're just rebooting the older games.
Yeah.
It's like
And,
Money Garage.
and some of them like are really good, right? Like I'm currently playing the Resident Evil 2 remake. Fantastic game.
The Resident
It's so
Evil
well.
remakes are a work of art.
Man, it's amazing, but it's like, where's new content, right? Or like, I don't know, man. It's,
Me and
it
my
just sucks
brother,
to see.
we played Resident Evil 2 when it first came out on the Sony PlayStation, and also Final Fantasy 7. And seeing those remakes is like it was really cool. It's really nostalgic, but it's also like they're adding to it. Like I was watching him play Resident Evil 2 remake, and the lickers scared us in the original game.
Yeah,
And then
now
he was
they're
fine.
like
It was
now they'll make you
huge.
shit your pants.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
the lickers are terrifying. Nemesis,
The big dude.
The one that comes up and punches you?
Nemesis,
That
Mr.
guy's-
X, like
Yeah.
the fucking tyrants are terrifying in the remakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also,
I'm in the sewers right now.
I have to hate the remakes just a little because they're why we have Raccoon City Police Department and Dead by Daylight.
Preach.
And it is the worst fucking map in the game.
RPD?
Yes.
Okay.
Like,
So they have the police station in Dead by Daylight? No shit. So the station that I was in,
Yeah.
well, you probably didn't see much.
We got the box, right?
Because I was in the sewers, I think.
so for anybody that doesn't know, Dead by Daylight is kind of like a horror hall of fame. You have Ghostface, Michael Myers, Leatherface, Freddy Krueger, one of Jigsaw's little lackeys. You have all these characters from iconic horror movies.
Dare insult Amanda like that.
That's what she is. She's Jigsaw's lackey. But you have all these icons of horror, including Nemesis. And you have maps correlating to most of them. Like, hell, we have the girl from The Ring as a killer. Like, Laurie
What'd you do?
Strode.
Call your character, pull out a phone? What's up?
Bro, whenever
Laurie
the,
Strode is one of the survivors.
whenever the Ring came out, we were watching it at my mom's friend's house, and it was like her kids and us, and like me, my brother, and my sister, or whatever. I swear to God, we're watching The Ring, and the fucking house phone rings, bro. And we go, ah,
No.
I swear to God.
Oh my God.
No.
So,
I'd rather die.
What are the
actually.
odds, man? We had to pause the movie, man. We
Yeah,
were freaked out, dude.
so before I forget, I just wanted to ask about, so the police station map, you hate it? You don't like it?
Despise it.
Why?
It's too big and it's too confusing. It's a very, very, very faithful recreation.
There's
Don't
a lot
get
of
me
fucking
wrong.
rooms on there.
Yeah.
Man.
The problem is, because it's such a faithful recreation, you can only really learn the map by either spending a shit ton of time playing on it in DVD, or by playing Resident Evil and learning it that way. So for anybody that's not a Resident Evil fan, and dropped into that map for the first time, they're like, "Oh, this looks really cool. I don't know where the
So
fuck
does it have all
everything
3
is."
floors, or is it just the first floor?
2. It's just 2 floors.
First 2 floors?
Yeah.
Okay, and
The 3rd floor is blocked off. Like all the stairs are blocked off.
okay, and there's no sewers or anything like
No.
that to go. So you just the first 2, but still, dude.
It's still
Including the
so
roof
much.
access, or is that
Yeah.
like oh my god, bro?
And like you're running around, you're trying to find a fucking generator, and you cannot find one because the map is such a maze. It is almost
one map you were
universally
on.
hated by the DBD community, and that's why it's getting a complete rework this year. Like Behavior, the development company for Dead by Daylight, they're like, y'all hate this map, so we're reworking
I'll
it.
tell you what, man. All those people got to do is play Resident Evil 2 one time. They'll know the map because they had like in order to get everything, you got to backtrack so fucking much, so many fucking times. It's
That would actually.
See,
crazy,
here's the
man.
thing. I'm not
It's
gonna
for,
pay
like,
60.
collectibles and
I'm not
shit.
gonna pay $60 to buy a game so I can learn a map in Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't either. But it is
Fuck
a
no.
great, it's a great fucking game though.
Yeah, it's
I'm
a
not
great
gonna-
game, but also horror games. Horror games and I have a bad history. I have an irregular heartbeat. I tried to play Resident Evil Biohazard, and or I guess it's 7, Resident Evil 7, I think. The first one that introduced Ethan, with like the fucking Hick family in that big house.
Oh,
and,
no.
yeah.
It was that eyes.
I almost gave myself a heart attack playing that game. Like my chest started hurting and my heart was beating so fast I could hear it over the game.
Oh my god.
Have you played
And-
Outlast?
I refused.
I refuse.
I don't blame you. That's probably the scariest game I've ever fucking
Outlast, Phasmophobia, I won't play those games because of my heart.
It's like I literally might die.
Like,
Yeah.
playing Dead by Daylight is kind of a push sometimes. Like,
That's what always gets me about people who like do like. Have you ever seen like the Bushmen in Arkansas? How they
Yeah.
scare people on the road and stuff, or on like the sidewalks and stuff. And they pop out, and it's like, dude, like
you're going to give somebody a heart
you're gonna
attack.
kill somebody. You know what I mean? And like, and what are we gonna? Are you gonna go to jail for that? Probably, more than likely.
Yeah.
Manslaughter. You know, like
And
it's crazy.
like I can watch people play scary games.
Yeah.
That's not a problem. I could watch people play it until dawn. I couldn't play
That
it.
game was fun, dude, and it was pretty scary. Till the end. The end was a little bit less scary, but
Yeah.
dude, as you're going through that fucking game, oh my god.
Like, I will not be playing The Quarry, but I will watch people play it.
Did you ever go skydiving?
Fuck no.
No.
Fuck no.
Yeah, I don't think I can either.
I'm horrified of heights.
More than the irregular heartbeat, just the
Yeah.
heights.
My junior year of high school,
Hmm.
I fell about 30 feet off a cliff.
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude.
Busted up my knee really bad. I ended up in a full-length leg brace for about 6 months.
Did you land on your feet? Or
I don't even know.
Like, did you jump off or you just fell?
Wait,
I
did
fell.
did you roll?
No, I just fell.
Oh my god.
So like we were on a hiking trip
That's
with our church youth
traumatizing.
group, and we were walking across this ledge that we should have been harnessed in for.
Mhm.
Like legally, we should have been harnessed in for it because we
Yeah.
had like an official like hiking guide,
Yeah.
and at one point we had to be harnessed in for something. We weren't for this. That ledge was maybe a foot wide, 1.5 feet.
Did you see that? Were you with him?
No, he was too young.
Oh my god. Thank
But-
god. That would have traumatized you too.
But I
I would've
stepped.
been
I took a step. The rock broke out from underneath me, and I just fucking fell. And yeah, full length leg brace for 6 months. I was out of that leg brace for 2 to 3 weeks when I auditioned for the Addams Family.
Wow.
My high school year, like my senior year of high school. That was my first musical,
That sounds fun.
and now I've been in way too many shows
Yeah.
for me to think of. Never a repeat of a show.
Would you ever go to the Grand Canyon since you're scared of heights?
That's iffy.
He's like, I fell off a cliff, Tanner. It's like, what?
What?
No.
Yeah, so I'm asking about the biggest cliff
Oh,
we got.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, when our mom was younger, she was on a trip to the Grand Canyon with some family, and her cousin pushed her right by the edge.
Oh God.
I would have beat her.
They know it's a mile down. Like, come on, Jesus.
Yeah, our grandfather almost fucking killed him.
I would've.
My girlfriend and I, man, and I just got to bring the Grand Canyon up because I also wanted to tell this story because I'm selfish. But my girlfriend and I, we went to the Grand Canyon like August of 2020. We went to the North Rim, man, and we met another couple there, and they like took pictures of like my girlfriend and I. We took pictures of them. We saw them a couple times on this like little trail. We weren't there but a couple hours, and the guy was saying that one of his friends like the year before fell off the Grand Canyon, like died, and he was like, yeah, he fell, and I was like, he fell? He's like, yeah, exactly how you would expect him to fall. Like, I was like, oh my God, man, like I just can't even imagine, dude.
I saw a guy fall off a 2-story building, and that was traumatizing enough for me. Like, I literally have a hard time, like, imagining somebody being in, like, a near-death experience. Like, if I'm watching a movie and I see something that's happening that's, like, a near-death experience, my heart's pumping, dude. Like, I can't stop thinking about that.
Yeah,
I can't
like watching
imagine how
fucking
you-
Tom Cruise hang on to the side of a fucking
Yeah.
airplane as it's flying off. I'm like, what is happening? Like,
It's like your worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
and I also just kind of I have an irrational fear of helicopters. So like watching Captain America: The Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Watching,
He's holding it?
Watching Steve hold on to a fucking helicopter with one hand. I'm like,
The blade.
you're gonna lose your fucking arm.
Have you ever seen Black Hawk Down?
No.
There's like a ton of helicopters now, man.
Really good.
It's a great movie, but it'd probably terrify you if you don't like helicopters.
I talked to the guy who did the programming for those.
Really?
Yeah, well, I'm going to get his information.
The movie or like Black Hawks?
Blackhawks.
Should have got his info.
Check out that.
But
Oh, yeah.
how long have we been going for now? Probably about to have to.
Yeah, 121.
21 minutes already.
That's about it.
Doesn't feel
Fucking
like it.
crazy.
Doesn't.
Feels like it's been 10 minutes.
It feels humid in here.
Yeah, it's hot as fuck in this room.
This is the
So-
like the humidity, the heat. That's the only thing that's making me wonder,
Our-
like, how long?
Our, our landlord, if you see this, please have mercy and
It's
turn the
bad.
AC on over here.
Well, the AC is set to 73 right now, and it's 81 degrees in here.
Yeah.
I mean, he needs to fix it.
I think there's something going on with it. I don't know. But
Anyway.
anyways, yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap it up, man.
We're just bitching.
You go ahead and plug your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Before you plug your stuff, I just want to say that if anybody did watch to the end, first of all, thank you. And if you haven't seen his brother, well, you wouldn't see it because it's not on video, but if you haven't heard his brother, Derian's podcast, it is on our Spotify under the Human Network. And you can find it there and check that out if you want to learn about his brother. And we'll hopefully have their dad on at some point too, who is a great man. I really like him.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
It'll happen.
Love your father, he's great.
But
Let him plug his stuff.
so it's Moose Mordor.
Moose Mortar.
So
Spell it for me.
MOOSEMORDRE
Okay.
on literally everything: Instagram, Twitch, TikTok, YouTube. That's what it is. And my podcast is called The Antler Lounge,
The Antler Lounge.
and
Alright.
only available on Spotify
Only available on Spotify.
because iTunes is a bitch to get on.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the good thing about our hosting site is it actually made it pretty easy to get our Apple Podcast. But
See, I don't have an Apple account, and you have to have one.
yeah, I did have to create one. I did all that work. So
Cool. Right in my face.
that's right. You did all the scheduling. All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Human Network Podcast.
Bye, guys.
Bye.